And I'm back with an update on my swatches for the Kuretake 24 color set. These have been in the window for about 6 months. I placed them on January 21st of this year, and it's quite interesting. At the previous check, which I think it was probably about a month or two after I placed them, there were a few changes, especially in the reds, but that was about it if I remember correctly. At this point, I believe that kind of stayed true. Most changes are still in the red colors and also in the yellow, and I'm trying to avoid the glare from my lamp. Definitely the one with the tape right here, this part has been in the window, and the one that's been in my drawer, you can see how, especially in the lighter value, the color has almost disappeared. In the mass tone, it lost a little bit of the vibrancy. Also with this yellow, a similar thing happened. Some of the orange disappeared, that warm tone, and this is more of a cool yellow. Green stayed the same. Also this it looks like a phthalo green, blue shade, an ultramarine, a little bit with this earth color, some sort of a brown. Perhaps the part that stayed in the window also lost a little bit of the warm, but it's very, very faint. I don't know if you can see that. Also, what I'm thinking, I use a permanent marker, so I don't know if that changes. So some of the pigments on the line, they show a little bit different, especially with this red here. The pigments look darker red, and on the initial one, the one that stayed in the drawer, it has almost like a yellowish warmer red. For the middle part, this color here, of course, this pink, this was the part that stayed in the window. It's almost disappear in the light value here. It's almost to the white of the paper. The yellow, a similar thing happened, I believe. I don't know if the camera can catch it up, but this looks much cooler, much brighter actually than the one that stayed in the drawer. This green hadn't changed much, neither this blue, which looks almost like Prussian blue or one of those PB16, kind of like a turquoise. Interestingly, this blue, the part that stayed in the window, looks much cleaner than the one that was in the drawer, especially in this lighter value. It has a more brighter appearance. This one looks a little bit murky, but it could also be if my brush was contaminated or the water had maybe a little bit of yellow pigment that disappeared with exposure to sun. Well, we'll see if the blue itself is gonna change. And the same thing with this earth tone, very faint loss in like the yellow. This is the part that was in the drawer, and this is the one that was in the window. This one looks much cooler. It lost some of the yellow, but overall you can still tell this is a brown. Moving on, this cherry red, this part was the one that stayed in the window. Significant loss in brightness and in the lighter value. Again, we're almost getting to the light of the paper. This yellow ochre, the part that was in the window, actually looks slightly yellower, almost unnoticeable, I would say. But if I look at the swatch, I can definitely tell just a little bit of a change in the one that was in the window. This bright green, I can also see the one that was in the window looks a slightly cooler. I don't know if it was a yellow mix in the original, but definitely just a little bit cooler, not so much of that yellow coming through. Same with this aqua. This one has just a little bit more yellow, but this is still a very pretty color. This blue also, I noticed a change. The one that was in the drawer, this part has almost like a violet tint to it, while this, it's almost like a ultramarine, like a phthalo blue red shade. Has more of a cooler look than the one that was in the drawer. And the black, and there's no changes with this pigment. The most interesting one that I noticed so far is this orange. You can tell how the red, if there was a red and the yellow, or an orange and the yellow mixed with it in this light tone, it's mostly a yellow now, like a very pale yellow. There's none of that orange look. And in the mass tone, definitely the one, this is the one that was in the window. It's a more yellow orange compared to the one that was in the drawer. This almost like a vermilion, like a warm vermilion. The green stayed the same, also with this green. This pale blue, again, this one that was in the drawer was maybe slightly violet, has a violet tinge. This one, it looks just a little bit more bluer, but again, some of that could be contamination from other colors, so we'll see in a year's time if the changes get more obvious. There's almost a dioxazine violet. You can definitely see a change, much lighter in the washed out color. In the mass tone, the one in the window, which is this swatch, has lost some of that vibrancy, some of the reddish aspect. Still, I think this is a pretty good purple. We'll see if it's gonna disappear completely in the lighter value after a year exposure. And then the white, I can't tell much of a difference. Although in this swatch that was in the drawer, it looks just slightly yellower to me. This one maybe a little cleaner. Again, it could be contaminant from my water, from my brushes. But these are the Kuretake. Of course, these paints, I don't think they claim any Lightfastness or any of those properties. They're beautiful colors. You can definitely use them, paint. Just be mindful if you want to expose your hang your paintings. Maybe find a wall that doesn't get so much sun exposure. This was in almost a south facing window, so they get a lot of sun, especially within the last months. We had a lot of sun here where I live. But these are the colors. Thank you for your interest in Lightfastness test. I do want to test all my Sennelier colors. That would be a lot of work, I know, creating those swatches, but I want to make sure if I paint and give my paintings away, they're not gonna disappear. And of course, not everybody is aware of how to hang their artwork or how to maybe invest in like a UV protective light. So for my purposes, of course, these colors, they're still pretty. I probably use them for crafts, scrapbooks, but yeah, I hope this is helpful to you, and I'll see you in my next video.